Real on YouTube wants to know, I've got a quick question. My brother filed for citizenship in June of 2017. He's currently waiting for an interview date. Is this still a normal waiting time for Texas?
June?
June.
Yes, it's about 9 months. You should be getting something by March or April.
Billy says that he lost his green card, but he still has the alien number. Can he go ahead and do the citizenship now?
Yep.
Diana asks, if a mom files for her children and they're all grown people, how long is that going to take as a citizen?
Grown people is about 8 years.
Literally
As long as the people are not married. If the people are married, it's going to take longer.
Daryl says, I really want to go to California. I'm from the Philippines. I'm 33 years old and I am single. Is there any way that I can immigrate to California?
You're asking, how can you get a green card? You need a consultation. Right.
From your lips.
Thank you.
Takesha asks, do I have to submit last year's tax documents if I'm submitting filing paperwork for my kids this month? Or can I just submit my 2014 through 2016 tax documents since my husband, who is the petitioner, has not filed last year's yet?
Yeah, 2017 is not due till April 15th. So as long as you file before April 15th, you can file with 2014, 15, and 16.
But if you file after April 15th, you have to submit.
Unless you show something that's on extension.
Sylvie says, can I take my ex-boyfriend to court for child support while he's living out of the U.S.? I have 2 kids with him.
You can, but it's going to be very hard to collect the money.
Doesn't mean she shouldn't do it.
Shouldn't do it.
She should do it.
Right, she should absolutely do it because you never know when he'll be coming back.
Lucille says, my son is married to a U.S. citizen woman. They have a child together, but she broke up with him and took away the child. He hasn't seen the child for over 4 years now. He's paying child support, and she has another child from a different man. He now wants to divorce this woman, and he doesn't know where to serve the papers. What does he do?
Well, if you're paying child support, somebody knows where this woman lives because you're paying child support. So
she's getting money.
She's getting money somewhere. And by the way, why don't you go see your kid? Why don't you go back to the family court and ask for visitation and demand visitation? You're paying for your child, and I think a father should always be in a child's life. So what, right, Squeeze?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
why are you not seeing your kid? That's a whole other story. But yes, you can find out where she lives. It's pretty easy if she's collecting child support, and you hire a sheriff or a process server. I always like hiring the sheriff because it scares the shit out of people. Yeah. You know, this guy comes and knocks on the door. He's got this big hat.
And he's got a gun.
What?
And he's got a gun.
Yeah, he's got a gun.
And handcuffs.
He's got a gun.
And if it's like if it's in Maricopa County in Arizona, it's Mr. Arpaio. Okay, and they scare the hell out of you and serve you with a divorce summons.
Well, you know the sheriff really can't do anything.
Can't do anything,
Yeah,
right?
They can't do it. People hear the sheriff and they,
Sheriff's in town! There's a new sheriff in town, Squeeze, and he's not going to take any bullshit from you. That's only in the movies.
Like clothes on their
It's only in the
boots when
movies.
they come up and
It's only in the
tassel
movies.
cap.
By the way, I love the fact that we're not on the radio and I can say stuff like this now, right? All right, let's continue.
Squeeze is like still a family show.
It's a family show. Let's keep it moving.
That's what I got.
Natalie wants to know YouTube.
Wait, Mazel Tov, everybody. We hit 200 for about 30 seconds. Continue now. Okay. Squeeze.
Natalie says,
Yes.
what is an immigrant visa number?
An immigrant visa number?
Yep.
That is the priority dates that they're processing for green cards. So, for example, let's say that Squeeze is my brother from another mother or from the same mother. Because if you were from another mother, you couldn't file for me. But let's say Squeeze is my brother from the same mother. Okay? From the same mom. It's a great trick by mom, but still seems to work. Mom is very talented. So let's say Squeeze is my brother from the same mother, and Squeeze files for me. He's the U.S. citizen, and files for me on Monday. Monday was February 5th, I believe. So that would be my priority date, February 5th. Then you go and look at the visa numbers, and they say the priority dates for brothers and sisters is some date in 2004. So that's the number they're working on right now. So when they say the immigrant number they're working on, that's the priority date they're working on. And now your priority date is established on the day in which your application gets filed.
Okay.
Carol wants to know, can someone get a green card when the wife didn't show up for the interview?
No, unless you're an abused spouse, but you got to get the abused spouse approved.
Okay. She has like an interesting follow-up that I can't quite decipher, so I'm going to ask your help on the Facebook translation. The husband came up without inspection and got the waiver back in 2001 and paid $1,000.
He's 245I. He paid the $1,000 penalty fee because it was filed before April 30th, 2001. So it wasn't a waiver. It was you paid the grandfathering penalty fee.
Okay, we've got Eve on Facebook who wants to know.
Scarf.
Eve, what is he? They're gonna keep bringing Squeeze's scarf, please.
But the weirdest thing about it is,
All right.
I got long johns on too.
He's got long johns on. We need
I'm
to
still
know.
freezing.
We need to know what's on under his pants.
Yeah.
Okay, that was really important.
I don't want you thinking about it though.
Thank God, I was gonna die if I didn't know that.
Patrice is coming in with a scarf.
It's amazing. We start talking about long johns and the numbers keep going up.
People want to know what
see,
Squeeze wears. Here.
No, it's okay.
Wait, go get him a scarf.
There's no scarf. There's no scarf there. Trust me.
There's no scarf.
I didn't know the temperature was going to drop in the studio, so I didn't bring my scarf. You know?
Can you give Squeeze Jill's shawl, please?
No, that's okay. That's okay. That's all right.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Anyway, Kim, at least we're getting the numbers back up.
Yes. Go
anyway,
ahead, Kim.
so let's get to the
Eve.
questions. To people who are not freezing.
Yes.
Eve wants to know, is it the same procedure as filing for your wife who's out of status if you're a permanent resident or a citizen?
No, it's a completely different process. So when you file as a U.S. citizen, you're filing an adjustment. When you're filing for your permanent resident spouse, you're filing an I-130. You're on a waiting list. In about a year and a half, you're either going to adjust if you're luckily under 245I, but more likely do a provisional waiver, go home and come back. You should file as a permanent resident. You should not do nothing. But it's an absolutely different process filing as a permanent resident spouse than as a U.S. citizen.
It's a good one.
So if he's wondering which one, it's going to really come down to where he is at in terms of his permanent residency versus his citizenship, I'm assuming.
File now, and when you become a citizen, you deal with it. But who knows when and if you'll ever become a citizen. How's that?
Nikki asked.
$1.
Squeeze showing off his winnings.
Showing off his winnings. He won.
Yes, Nobo's on you tonight,
$1. The dollar meal at McDonald's. He's got it. Don't worry.
I'm just sending the numbers up.
Dollar meal. Let's go.
Go on, next question.
Nikki says, how long does it take to get a green card from a green card holder?
Green card from a... How long does it take? Brad, how long does it take to get a green card
I have
from
a green card. Squeeze, here it is. Here's okay. I don't know what that even means. Assuming you get married, I assume saying they're married to a resident, it's about a year and a half to 2 years. I'm assuming that's the question.
You want to see a neat trick?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Go on, next question.
All right, give me an opportunity.
Yeah.
Give me an opportunity to double the dollar or get the dollar back. How much do you want to bet that somebody's going to ask a question? I entered the United States on a visitor's visa, and I'm about to give birth. Is that a problem?
Oh, that's something.
Or some sort of birth question on a visitor's visa.
Sounds like you read that.
I haven't read it yet. I'm just saying, I bet you that question will
Already?
come up. What do you think, Kim?
Cheating is a hell of a thing.
Yes.
I was going to say, you can't ask me what I think in this because I actually know the answer. So I can't weigh in here.
I'll bet you that a guy by the name of Spencer Tobias is going to ask a question about a J1 visa. I'll double. You want to bet that, Squeeze? I'll get my dollar back.
That's called cheating.
That's not cheating.
That's called insider trading.
It's not insider trading.
That's insider trading. This is billions right here happening right now.
All right, let's continue.
Timo asks, my friend is married with a kid but lost the wedding pics and has no joint bills or bank account. Can he adjust his status without a problem? He has very little evidence.
No, you better start having an economic relationship with your what is basically your child's mother. I mean, you're married, but it's not What having a child shows is that at one point you had a relationship. So the government knows this was not presumably a business marriage. You didn't pay the woman to marry you. We know that because you had a child together. What the government doesn't know is, are you currently living in a bona fide marriage? So how do you prove? You could have had a child together 5 years ago, and she could just be the mother of your child. And she says, okay, well, I'll marry you to get a green card. That's what the government will think if you come in with absolutely nothing. What you need to be able to prove is that at this moment, as well as moments in the past, as well as here's future moments, you guys live together in the same house and you share an economic relationship. So yes, it would be a problem.
On Facebook wants to know, I filed for my mom in August of 2017. I got the receipt, but have gotten nothing else. When do you think I'm going to hear from them? I'm a U.S. citizen.
I heard the first part got cut out. When in 2017?
She filed for her mom in August of 2017.
Where is the mom?
Where's the mom?
If the mom is in another country and she hasn't heard a thing, she hasn't gotten a receipt or anything, she needs to call me. If the mom
She got a receipt. She got a receipt. She just hasn't gotten anything else.
All right, so that's normal because it's taking 7-8 months now to get an I-130 approved, maybe even 9 months. Okay, it's just taking a really long time. If she hasn't heard, so August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. If she hasn't heard by April, the end of April, she should call me.
Natalie on YouTube wants to know, my cousin is a non-immigrant. She worked and she's about to file her taxes. She got married this month. Would she need to file taxes with her husband even though she wasn't living with him last year?
No, because you file joint tax return for the year you got married. So she would only be filing a joint tax return if she got married by December 31st, 2017. Remember, you're filing a tax return in 2018 for what happened in 2017. So in the year 2017, she was not married. You wouldn't file a joint tax return.
Sheila asks, my husband filed an I-130 on my behalf, and I filed my I-485 at the same time in November of 2017. My application was acknowledged, and I received a receipt number. How long is it going to take to get an interview?
9 months.
Should I just abandon my I-485 to keep legal status?
No, your I-45 keeps you in legal status. Don't abandon it, because once you abandon the I-45, now you're out of status. That's the opposite of what you want to do. When you file an I-485 and the government accepts that application, you're in legal status. Hang in there.
Hang in there.
Hang in there.
How long should she hang in there?
9 months.
She filed 9 months. Latoya says, if you came to the U.S. on a visitor's visa and you're out of status and married to a lawful permanent resident, is it okay?
Now we're on the same line. Wait, Squeeze is going down also now.
I am?
Yes.
You guys, I feel the solidarity.
You feel, right? Look, now this feels a lot better.
Gentlemen.
Yes. I feel very low to the ground now, Squeeze. I feel like a midget now. Very low. All right, continue. Yes. Little person. The nomenclature of midget, nobody's allowed to use that anymore. It's little person. I was not politically correct. I'm sorry about that. For all the little people out there.
Your designation, which is actually angry elf.
Angry elf, correct. Right. All right, so what's next?
Latoya asks, so if you came to the U.S. on a visitor's visa and you're out of status and married to a lawful permanent resident, is it okay to start filing for him, or should he apply for his citizenship first?
File for him. Wait. The resident should be filing for the spouse. If they become a citizen during the process, wonderful. Be faster.
Junior asks, I was recently removed from the USA. I don't have any criminal history. I was locked up, but the charge I got was dismissed.
Guess what, Junior? You were locked up. That's a criminal history, even if the charges were dismissed. Let's continue.
So I was removed because I have a crew visa, and they say I can't adjust my status. I'd have to go home first. I already filed my I-130 and my I-485, and then they sent me home. Now what do I do?
First of all, I don't know how that, okay, I understand what happened. So what do? You need to file a new I-130, and you're going to need 2 waivers, one for prior order of deportation and one for living here illegally more than a year. Basically, Junior screwed up. Had he come to me, we would have done a provisional waiver and everything, and he'd be home for 2 weeks back and forth. Now he's going to wait home a year and a half and has to do more waivers.
Shanti asks, I came here on a visiting visa over 6 months now, got married in September. My husband is pending an interview date for his citizenship. Is it okay to go ahead and start filing?
File an I-130, yes. File an adjustment, no, because you got to wait on his citizenship. Now, if his citizenship's going to be in the next couple of weeks, just hold off until he becomes a citizen. There's no sense in filing the I-130 if he's going to be a citizen in the next 3 weeks. If his citizenship is a year away, 9 months away, 8 months away, if there's concerns whether he'll become a citizen or not, file the I-130 now.
Cheryl asks, how long after the 1-year letter is expired do you have to wait for your 10-year green card?
A year and a half. After the 1-year letter. So what happened is there was the I-751 was filed, they got a 1-year extension, and now they're still waiting. It's usually 18 to 20 months. If you need proof of legal residence, you need to go down and get a stamp in your passport. Go down to the USCIS, what I mean by go down. A lot of what I means today. Maybe I'm not explaining well today. At least I feel I'm not.
No, you're not.
I'm not. Thank you very much. Squeeze with the lambasting.
Squeeze is always there for emotional support.
Yes, always there. Why can't he just say to me, Brad, you're doing a really good job. You're here for every day, hour after hour, answering immigration questions. You're always on point. You're always right. You're allowed to flub one every so often. Why can't he say that? But no.
Facebook just made me realize.
What did Facebook make you realize?
That I broke one of the records, I guess, within the area. I've had one of my videos shared. I have 5.5 million views.
On what?
And 24,883 shares. 16,310,000 people reached.
Well, that's wonderful.
You want to know what it was for?
What was it for?
The one that you didn't like.
Which one?
The baby video.
What baby video?
The baby.
Oh, the baby racing video?
Yeah, 5.5 million.
But that wasn't Squeeze's.
No, but it's on my page. On my page, it's 5.5
right.
million.
No, it's not.
It's not my baby.
Okay.
I'm serious.
The total views of everything.
But I'm the one who shared it originally on my page.
Right.
What, you don't want it to be?
Congratulations.
No.
What do you want from me?
I took it from my
answering
Instagram
immigration
page. I posted it on there.
Okay, wonderful.
The moral of the story here is I am trying to get the Brad and Squeeze page to get to that.
Okay, wonderful.
So it's all about sharing. That was what I was segueing into and alluding to.
What does it have to do with me answering immigration questions very well? Nothing. Let's continue, Kim.
Nobody listens to Squeeze.
All right.
Maybe we should get little babies on the show.
I'm trying to help people here, and he's talking about baby racing and just boasting about his 5 million shares. Let's continue. There he is.
I'm going back up, man.
Right.
I'm going back up.
Right, there's Squeeze with his Napoleon.
Nobody listens.
Wow, there goes the end of solidarity.
Squeeze with his Napoleon.
Nobody listens to Squeeze. Content is king. Anyway, let's go. Back.
All right, let's go. Continue.
Jacqueline asks, how long does it take to get by your 10-year green card?
What do you mean to get by your 10-year green card?
I don't know. That was one of those I read verbatim because I couldn't. I'm just going to go with how
I assume you filed to remove the conditions 18 months.
Stacey says, I'm a citizen and I'm sponsoring my daughter from the Caribbean, but she had a baby after I put in her papers. Is there any way that I can go ahead and include the baby in the filing?
If the child's over 21 and on a waiting list, just contact the National Visa Center, write them a letter with the KNG number or whatever. KNG, I'm assuming Jamaica, but it could be Trinidad, PTS number, whatever country you're from. Give your case number, send a copy of the kid's birth certificate to the National Visa Center with the case number, with a nice little letter that says, hi, I filed for my daughter, this is her name, this is my name, this is the case number, my daughter gave birth to this child, here's a photocopy of the birth certificate, please add this child to the case. Something like that.
Kareem asks, is it possible for a lady that filed for a green card for a guy and then divorced him just a month ago file for another guy immediately without any issues with immigration?
Immediately you can. You could always have issues when you're going back and filing for a second we go back and filing for a second spouse, especially if it's right after, because the first thing the government's going to say is, what are you in the business of marrying people? Now you're going to say, no, I'm not in the business of marrying people. I fell in love, I fell out of love, and then I fell in love again, assuming that's the case. If you are in the business of marrying people, don't do it. Dummy.
Don't be in that business.
Don't be in that business. It's illegal. That's all I can say.
Lancelot
Lancelot.
asks, Lancelot
Yes.
asks
Lancelot.
if you
Lancelot.
Lancelot.
Isn't that from King Arthur?
Lancelot.
That's from
Yes.
King Arthur. Yes.
Lancelot.
Yes.
Sir Lancelot.
Sir Lancelot. Yes. I should call you Sir Galahad. Squeeze. The Black Knight. There was a famous Black Knight in the King Arthur, wasn't there?
What does that have to do with answering immigration question?
I have no idea. What
Okay,
does
let's
baby
get back
racing
to
have
it.
to do with immigration?
Let's get back to it.
Also a Martin
What does
Lawrence
baby have to do
movie
with
about
answering
a
immigration
Black
question?
Knight?
Yes,
You know?
there was a Martin Lawrence movie about the Black Knight. I think there was a bio on Squeeze.
What does that have to do with answering immigration question?
Yes.
All right?
Right,
Do unto others.
As much as baby racing, Squeeze.
What does baby racing have to do with that? Squeeze had to interrupt us to tell us about
All
his
right.
baby racing.
But I was talking about likes and follows, which I was trying to get the Brad Squeeze show up more, but hey.
Yeah.
My ideas are never taken
All right,
seriously.
Lancelot. Let's go back to our friend Lancelot.
Lancelot still
Yes.
wants to know, if you overstay and get married to a citizen, you are waiting on your papers. Can ICE deport you while you're waiting?
Of course. They can deport you up to the day you become a citizen. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't fight it out.
Xavier asks, what's the oldest the child has to be for their parent to file for you as a nanny?
13.
Millicent says, I was approved for my I-130. Can my son give me a waiver?
No. You can only get a waiver through a parent or a spouse.
Dawn says, I filed for my daughter at age 19, but final papers were submitted when she was 21. Her I-130 was approved in October of 2015, but I submitted the final papers again when she was 21. She is now in the 21 year and older category and has a case number. Is that the way it should have worked out?
Sounds like it, yeah. So unfortunately, she's going to wait years.
Ciandele asks, my husband has his 2-year temporary green card. I filed for my stepkids. How long is it going to take for them to go in for a visa?
About a year from the time you file, maybe longer.
I've got another one I need you to put in your Facebook translator.
Okay.
Which process for C1D after marriage?
The person came as a crewman. They're ineligible to adjust their status and Squeeze is getting lower again now. Unless yes, he's over his Napoleon complex. He's going to join us at our level now.
Are you insulting me?
No, I am not.
You're telling me that I have a Napoleon complex?
I am not.
Oh, okay.
Squeeze is getting over his Napoleon complex.
I tell you what, I've got a bomb that he hates me to drop. Every time I drop it on him, he just gets freaking crazy.
What?
Every time I say it.
What?
Every time I
What
say
is he
it.
gonna
Keep
say?
it up, and I will.
Is it the Justin Timberlake thing?
Nope, bigger than that.
That was a pretty good bomb. I really enjoyed
this
that.
one will let him stop the show and walk out. That's how bad it is.
He's goading me. He's goading me, Kim.
Telling
He's
you.
goading me.
Keep it up.
He's
And
goading
also
me.
now,
What?
I'm really dying to know what
He's
the bomb
goading me
is.
now, but I want to answer the question,
Yeah.
which is they came on the C1D1, which is a crewman, which bars you from adjusting your status. So the process is file an I-130 and a provisional waiver. The only time that's not going to happen is if you at your 245I, which we wouldn't know unless you had a consultation with us, or if you're married to someone in the military or former military, then you can do a parole in place.
Janet asks, I filed my I-130 for my kids over 21. The paperwork is at a California service center. But if I move to Texas, is the paperwork going to transfer to the Texas Service Center when I do the change of address and make the process faster?
It's not going to make it faster or slower. I mean, it may make the visa petition. I think we answered that question. She called from Newark, if this is the same Janet. But the answer is it's not going to make much of a difference because your priority date's your priority date.
Kareem says, is there any other possible way for a person that fell out of F1 status to get a green card without having to marry someone?
Yes, there is. Now he wants to know
Care to share any of those, Bradford?
Get sponsored in a job. That's one. I mean, almost anything. You have duration of status on the student visa, so you're eligible for almost anything. So, but you need to have a consultation with us. Job sponsorship's the most obvious way. It's 18 months for a green card.
Cheryl, with the extension, with the letter extension ending soon, she says, where does she go? Federal Plaza or the USCIS office?
Federal Plaza is the
stamp in her passport.
Federal Plaza is the USCIS office. So you would be going to USCIS at Federal Plaza. You got to make an InfoPass appointment for it. We got about 10 minutes to go. Let's finish up quickly. The last two questions.
Rohan asks, I have my green card in the 80s, but it doesn't have an expiration date. Do I need to get a new one?
Green card in 80s?
Yeah.
No expiration date? Yes.
No expiration date. Rushane says, I have a friend that was deported 30 years ago. Now his sister is terminally ill in the U.S. and wants to see him before she dies. What can be done for his sister to see him in person?
The sister's terminally ill in America?
Yeah.
Get proof from the doctor that the sister's terminally ill, and he has to go to the embassy with that evidence, so he has a very good reason why he's going, but he even needs even more reason that he needs to return back home before he overstays.
Teflon, it's supposed to be Teflon Don.
Teflon Don.
Teflon Don.
Yes. John
if
Gotti.
You have a DD.
John Gotti. I think he's dead. Is John Gotti alive still? I think he's dead. Did he die in jail, John Gotti? I think he did.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Or is he still in jail?
I don't know.
If you have a DD and it's expired, are you and your spouse eligible for a green card?
A DD?
DED?
Deferred enforced departure?
Oh, nice.
I don't know. It depends. Why would you be eligible because you have deferred enforced departure? I would need to know a lot more information. By the way, here's something interesting. What does Abe Vigoda and John Gotti have in common?
I don't know.
Both dead. Okay, let's continue.
Okay.
I just found that out. I don't mean to make fun of dead people.
I'm not making any fun of
It's amazing how you pull these facts out of nowhere, Brad.
I wasn't making fun of it. I was just there was always a joke. Is Abe Vigoda alive or dead? Dead or alive? You never played that game?
No.
No.
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive?
That's a game?
It's a game.
As in, like, is this person dead or alive?
Correct.
That sounds like not a very entertaining game.
It goes for about 2 minutes, and then it's not as much fun anymore.
Okay, yeah. It sounds like
it's about a 2 minute.
Yeah,
it's about a 2 minute long game. You ever played Death is Not an Option?
Death? What is that?
Where you mention two people, and you have to, like for instance, I'm not going to make you. You never played that when you were a kid? You're still a kid. No. You never played that? Squeeze, you played that when you were a kid?
No.
Come on, yes you did.
Wait, so what is the premise?
You mention two people. Let's say you say Brad or Squeeze. Death is not an option, so you have to it depends on how old you are. Kiss them or whatever, have a relationship with them or do whatever you want. And you can't say I'd rather kill myself. And I know if we mentioned Brad or Squeeze, Kim would say I'd rather kill myself. Okay.
So it's like F, Marry, Kill. Have you never played F, Marry, Kill?
No, I only yes. Yeah, but it's similar, but it's death is not an option. It's like you can't kill yourself. It's you got to pick two. And you
cannot kill yourself no matter what.
Right. All right, let's continue.
Okay. Rochelle
you notice she didn't pick anybody, Squeeze.
Oh, absolutely not. I am much smarter.
She would rather just kill herself anyway, no matter what the game says, right?
I am far too smart to make any choice there. Rochelle asks, I got married in May of 2017. My husband filed my paperwork in August of 2017. I did my biometrics in September, but I haven't received my work permit yet. What could be the holdup? Is that normal in the state of New York?
No, you should have got it. There's a holdup because you screwed up somewhere. Call me.
Moshe Baruch says that John Gotti died in jail from cancer.
Thank you, Moshe Baruch.
Thank you, Moshe Baruch.
Now, how did Abe Vigoda die, Moshe? Look that one up.
Moshe is watching the show?
Yes. How did Abe Vigoda die? I want to know.
Kareem asks, how feasible is it to get a green card through job sponsorship? And how do you look for job sponsors?
Well, your employer would have to sponsor you. It's not look for them. You would have to be working for them, and they have to love you and want to go through a job sponsorship with you. And then at the end, if you're out of status, either one, you're 245I, two, you don't have a visa that gives you a 10-year bar if you go home, or three, you get a provisional waiver, which doesn't give you the 10-year bar if you go home to pick up your green card or come back. So whenever you do a job sponsorship, especially dealing with people who are out of status, and maybe he's in legal status, I have no idea, but I'm assuming he's out of status, you would need to go backwards first. Figure out, okay, assuming the job sponsorship's completed, can he adjust here? Can he go home and come back without a problem? And then work backwards.
Nice.
What?
The way you're delivering the answers.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You notice I give you compliments?
Thank you very much.
I don't lambast your calling name or past judgments.
You are a handsome man, Squeeze.
I don't need that from you.
You are. You
No,
are
I
a
don't need that from
rich, successful man, Squeeze.
I don't need that
You
from
are
you.
a very nice man, Squeeze. Very kind-hearted.
I don't need that from you.
What do you need from me,
Kim,
Squeeze?
next call. We only have 4 minutes left
Yes.
before I run out of the studio. 4 minutes left, all right?
Clock's over at 7:30, according to Squeeze.
Yep.
It's done.
Yeah.
The FCC may not
So,
be
Squeeze, you don't want me to run the Paul Hirsch 12-minute
You
thing
can
we
run
have
it all
ready?
you want.
All right, we got 12 minutes with Paul Hirsch here, Squeeze. We can get this going.
You can run it all you want. You can even run it all night.
All right. Keep going, Kim.
Jean asks, if I filed for my brother in 2008, how much longer do we have to wait?
3 more years.
Teflon Don has a follow-up. He has a DED that's expired, but he is married to a U.S. citizen.
If he came in a legal status, what is the DED from? Was it from an immigration court, or was it from a TPS? What is he talking about, deferred enforced departure? What did he actually get?
Kat says on YouTube, how long will it take for a spouse of a U.S. citizen on a C1 visa to get a social security number and a work permit if they need to go home and come back to get the green card?
They're not getting a social or a work permit during the process. They have to do a provisional waiver first before they leave, then go home, come back 2 weeks later approximately with a green card. And when you come back with your green card, guess what? Green card is your work permit. Gets you your social, your driver's license. It gets you everything.
Xavier has a very interesting question. If I have a baby by a woman, can I file for her as a nanny for my older children that are
How
not
does
hers?
Xavier, who's a man, have a baby? He said that backwards.
No, have a woman, have a baby.
Have a baby
no,
for a
have a
woman.
baby by a woman. I was like,
What?
Whoa, you just woke me up.
Yeah.
Really, I put the comma in the wrong. Well, there is no comma, so I
Exactly.
arbitrarily decided.
Yeah.
But he has a baby with a woman.
Well, I hope
But
so.
he also has babies with other women.
Okay.
He's wondering if he can file for the woman that he has the child for as a nanny of his other children.
Very interesting.
I know
No,
he's
because-
doing the workaround.
No, the answer is no, because you got to open up the job sponsorship
Exactly.
to any
Can't open up a
qualified
bit
American.
for your-
He's not going to open it up for his baby's mother. It hasn't opened up for. It's not a true job offer.
I like the creativity though.
We're very creative.
I like it too.
McDuff says, if someone is deported due to a crime and was told not to come back for 10 years, after the 10 years is over, do they need a waiver
Yes.
or get their record clean somehow
No,
before they visit?
you need a waiver for the crime. You need a waiver for the deportation. You need 2 waivers still, McDuff.
Kwesi says, how is the immigration process in the U.S. and how can I migrate from Ghana to USA?
How is the immigration process in the United States, please?
Just start to finish,
think
Brad.
Start to finish.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's start to finish.
I think
How is it, Kim?
I think in many cases it sucks.
It does suck. It's a really bad, shitty process for good people, decent people. Okay? And unfortunately, there's no easy way. And if there was an easy way, the show wouldn't exist. Or the show would exist and we'd just be clowning around and never really answering anybody's questions.
Right.
Okay? The fact is that we sit here 2 hours every day answering immigration questions for the last 20 years would lead me to believe it's a really shitty process that's very difficult. You need good lawyers to help you, and that's why you're listening to this show, because I'm a good lawyer. There you have it, Kim. And with that,
That was pretty smooth.
With that said, my glasses come off.
And I want everyone to know that you can't do this process mostly on your own. It is very rare that people do it on their own and do it well, and do it fast, and do it efficient. That's why you need good lawyers, Kim.
That's why you need good lawyers, Kim. And that's the reason why you should call 1-800-529-5465, Kim. Did you get that number, 1-800-529-5465? No, you all didn't get it.
I didn't.
Everybody right now, I want to show Brad that there are
ready.
truly people still watching the show.
There's lots of people watching this show.
And they should call the number, let it ring 10, 15 seconds, and let him see it. Because I believe in you. I don't know about him, but I believe in you. I believe that the only law firm that you're going to be seeking any kind of legal help from is the law offices of Spar and Bernstein. I believe if you get in trouble with the law, it will be the criminal defense department. If you get your ass smacked by a car, unfortunately, or if you fall off of a construction site, unfortunately, you're coming to the attorney that's going to get you the maximum compensation possible. Why would you want to go anywhere else? And God forbid you need a divorce. You better go with a good attorney, or you could get screwed. Literally, probably. All right? So.
That was beautiful.